All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Shinsekai Yori, Episode 3. We already have some real interesting things going on. Monster rats. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely not once humans or children or anything like that.
Kind,
no.
Yeah. I love the way this world has separated the idea of the world of adults and the world of children.
Yes.
And the way that our characters are going to go through that journey of understanding the world of adults that's been left to them, and they're going to have to shoulder the burden of at some point. But until then, they are blissfully ignorant.
Right.
They get to look at everything and kind of go, huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
And that's their freedom.
Right.
In some ways, they are in a different world than ours, so they don't have that freedom entirely. They have psychic powers,
Okay.
and thus they are getting trained, at
Sure.
a school in a
Yes.
very odd, almost colony style thing.
Yeah,
here.
it's some kind of new world that they're in.
Yes, but they wouldn't know that.
Low-hanging fruit there.
They wouldn't know that.
No, they wouldn't.
It's
No.
just a Tuesday,
Yep.
It's just a regular day.
That's
and
right.
It's just, I guess.
And maybe,
that's what
I guess
we are.
we're just, maybe breaking the rules a little bit and keeping secrets. That's just sort of what it starts with, right?
Yeah. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Okay.
We found ourselves a library super sci-fi terminal attendant that is a Akuma, Minoshiro, which, okay,
All
cool,
right.
love it.
Fun.
We have ourselves an organic machine that looks like the other ones, but has the ability to use psychic powers, maybe.
But definitely hypnosis. And
Yes,
it seems to
specifically
be
hypnosis.
light-based.
Light, and then if
Okay.
it has a holographic device in it that allows it to store information, the idea that it could rapidly send out light in a way to hypnotize them, it all makes sense within its within what it's presented to be.
Right.
But now we need to know, okay, why the fuck is it just wandering about out there?
I mean, hey, in a lot of ways, I feel like that could be that could be the perfect disguise. The perfect way
hide
to
in plain sight.
Yep, hide in plain sight, and it's just out there. No one would know to look there, because if they were wanting to find information, they might, go to a building or something, but they wouldn't just go
Sure.
out in the wild and start poking random animals,
Also, this was another thing. The idea that it has 890 petabytes of info, that could be extremely a lot if it's based on a text thing, but since it's also holograms, I would think it also might be very little, and it's the whole idea of, oh, this is a terminal. This is all the info that we have on the human race, and it's
Sure.
oh no, there's actually only about 3,000 hours of info that we have on here or something. But yeah, the idea then that, oh, this is something that is with the library. That's what her father works with.
Yep.
So,
And I get the feeling
Oh.
things could get kind of interesting if she asked him about this. Now, she'll probably keep it a secret because, the fact that it was saying all that stuff of cease this destruction of property and everything, originally when that started happening, I was like, okay, is there a possibility that this is something old and forgotten, right?
Very
and
possible.
so this, over the course of time, the 1,000 years, there have been different civilizations that maybe have risen and fallen, and and things like that. And this was just one of the things that was there at some point, and then that's how they could basically access information of what happened way before, the real history, not whatever they've been told growing up and stuff like that. But no, this seems to actually be a part of the current established order.
Yeah.
And okay.
They likened it to the idea of the ritual where they were cleansed,
Right.
and the fire put them under a form of hypnosis. I mean, that is a form of light, so I think that there could have been some stuff, an induced form of hypnosis, probably by the fact that, well, there's a lot of other psychics that were probably involved in the ritual, so it would be probably easy for them to overwhelm a child's mind with,
Exactly.
that. So,
Especially when the child is specifically trying to let them do whatever they need to do, because this is part of the coming of age and all that stuff. We'll walk you through the steps of things, and theoretically we might have even gotten some motivation as for why that kind of ritual started in the first place.
Sure.
Because their psychic powers can have an effect from their subconscious wills and desires can be made manifest via their psychic powers.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And so then, yeah, it makes sense that you would maybe use hypnosis to try and like completely lock that away.
Yes.
So that way you'd have safeguards against that. You know, it wouldn't end up getting used and just fucking up the world because of, you know,
absolutely
millions of humans living and just doing shit.
I just want to throw out a big list of things since they're basically going overt into explaining not just that the kids specifically shouldn't recognize this as hypnosis similar to the ritual, but the idea then that every single child in this entire society that is at least graduated to the point where they are here
They're
at the
past
school,
middle school or whatever.
Right. They're on their way
Elementary,
to adulthood, basically. That they all are under the effects of hypnosis. I will just say then, there's a litany of things that can be applied to this here.
Yeah.
One, the idea of my little memory fuckery theory now makes a little bit more sense because
That's
it's the
true.
idea of,
That's true.
if a kid leaves your vicinity for more than 3 days, memories of them start to dwindle away. That could be part of it.
And that could also, that would explain a couple of things that in the story feel a little odd.
Right. They don't question certain things.
They don't question certain things, and
But that also could be just how they're raised.
totally. But like when Saki came to the class and would bring stuff up, and then they would deflect off of it.
Yep.
And the fact that you had one of the people from their class disappear, and they haven't like mentioned her since.
Yep.
It could just be that they thought it was just a regular she transferred or whatever,
Yep.
right? She's sick. She hasn't been well enough for school. You
There's
know?
an explanation that they're pretty used to getting.
Sure.
And they're like, oh, yeah, for sure.
But we haven't had that be touched on at all, right?
Nope, not at all.
So it could just be, it's not relevant to the story right now. Maybe it will be down the road.
It probably will be relevant down the road. It's the idea of where we're so early on in the story that all these things are there to provide a foundation for when the conflict then needs to address them so that we're then not lost and, completely unaware as to why the story is pointing out such and such a thing. And thus, this bit here is such a deluge of, hey, this is the plot. This is the first conflict. We're like, oh, right, the show hasn't really done this type of conflict at all yet, so having it be so abrupt and violent of a dump is just like, oh, wow, surprising.
I am very curious to see what happens in the next episode.
Yeah.
Because so this is episode 3, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like it kind of ticks that like episode 3 rule, right? Of like, have there be something by the third episode that will make sure to hook your audience.
Yep.
And the idea that in this very mysterious, bizarre world that they're in, right, that I very much would like to get answers for, it feels like they're doing an Aaron's Basement thing in episode, potentially
We'll
episode
see how
4,
much they actually have access
We'll see
to.
how much they actually have access to, what information they get. But I could see this very much being the inciting incident that causes them to more officially be put onto the outs of the society because, knowledge is dangerous, right? And if there's this whole rumor of the demon Minoshiro and the people that see it end up, dying shortly after or whatever, maybe it's because they find things out that they weren't supposed to, right? Like that could totally happen.
And that could be it. It's just this whole trip is one where they end up causing a lot of deaths of people because they end up bringing the knowledge to people that aren't necessarily ready to receive it.
And they might not even realize that that's what's at stake.
Yeah.
They might go back to their school for a bit and just be like,
we know some stuff.
Right, we just won't tell the adults or whatever, but like, okay, it's fine. We'll keep going about our daily lives. And then this thing, like does it have some way to report the fact that there was a security breach?
It doesn't even call it necessarily a security breach because the one thing I'm like kind of curious about this thing wandering about and stuff is that one, let's say it has a defense against psychic powers.
Sure, awesome.
That could be one part of it. Two, let's go out on the assumption here, just a little bit. We're in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Japan is an island. These things are walking. They don't seem like the kinds of things that swim.
Okay.
So, logically, they would ping around and bounce around over the course of hundreds of years inside of the island of Japan. They would never leave. They would stay here.
Sure.
So, in my opinion, that means they're not observers. They don't actively go out and gather new data just by walking around and filming. Like, that's not necessarily what they're doing.
Okay, all right. I like it.
That's my logic step kind of process here.
Yeah, the whole question of what the world is like outside of Japan in this post-apocalyptic world where technology has been kind of reduced and there was some sort of psychic craziness that happened is very curious if or when that would ever be explored.
I would say basically the easiest way to look at it is that humans attained godhood over the course of periods of time.
Right.
Multiple times probably destroyed themselves, rebirthed themselves, changed the world, everything.
And now you have a semblance of a status quo.
Yeah, you have a semblance of a status quo because they've figured out a way to have a society. It works here just enough that they're not killing each other, they're not eating each other. Everything is okay for now.
Right.
But the idea of a storage device that just contains oodles of information, video information, which I love because that means then that the cool way in which the beginning of the episode started with this very cool animation style and stuff.
Yeah,
we could see another
gorgeous.
fun visual form of that.
Oh yeah, we totally could.
From this creature.
Yeah.
Where it's it's more impressionistic. It's more we beam the data directly into your mind or something, and it, who knows, it might make you go mad. Or it's no, it's just a bunch of photos of trees and stuff of Japan, you know?
But I'm pretty sure at 890 petabytes, it's not text.
Right, it's
at
not
least
text.
not entirely. You
No.
know?
I'm pretty sure you could put all of Wikipedia on way less than that. Like,
probably.
way less.
I would think so.
For
those of you who don't know,
sure.
890 petabytes is 890,000 terabytes or 890 million gigabytes.
Approximately.
Yeah.
Because it's like 1024 or something.
But that's a lot of information.
To put it in perspective, the videos that we film here, the recordings that we do here are around 20 gigabytes or so.
Right, and that's high quality video, you know. I don't know what the bit rate of psychic hallucination thought transference or whatever. You know, however this library machine organism.
That's the thing.
Does
It might
its thing.
just be in like shitty 360p to maximize the storage capacity.
Oh,
and it's the thing
sorry
where you're
about
like, it's this little image there, and you like have to like in there, and you're like, whoa, this is some trippy shit. Anyway. Silliness aside, the idea that we have them going on their little adventure or something, we start to see a little bit more of the character dynamics. Jacob did bring up something interesting about how there's very clearly a potential jealousy angle of Shun, who does like Saki.
I did not expect that, but okay.
But then we have other boy.
Have we gotten his name yet? He was the one. Yeah, I don't think we have his name yet. He was the one kid whose name wasn't mentioned. I don't think in the first episode.
Yeah,
Maybe it wasn't.
We
missed it.
But I think it might have been just the point is that he very clearly has like this like quiet crush on her.
Yeah,
he's like maybe aware that she's not into him, but he's trying to do the typical young boy thing of like, crush the mosquito before it bites you, and
or the 1800s. I dip your ponytails in the inkwell. You know, right? Like. You know,
God, I think that's just a storybook thing. Whether or not that actually happened, it just sounds so cringe.
No, I know.
But okay, Jacob brought up a very good point of, wait, they're doing things with their psychic powers that are very clearly, I think, like not like, sanctioned rules necessarily. Now, it might be that it's the no. This is a part of growing up. We send you on this little trip. You're supposed to be back by this time. Stay within these boundaries.
Right.
But this is a thing that we have everybody do. And while you're out there, you know, take care of each other. Use your powers only on objects. Don't use them on each other, obviously. But that could be more of a thing of where it's like, we also are kind of letting you break the rules a little bit. We know you're going to break the rules. But
you're kids. That's what you do.
Right.
So then we want to make sure that maybe it's done in a
now
and in ways that we can maybe.
It won't be too bad.
Not control, but right, exactly. Yeah, you know, it's the you break the rules in the woods. You mess around with your psychic powers in the woods. Who cares, right? You know, doing that in front of a bunch of other kids where then that might give them ideas and things like that. Well, that's a bit more of a problem.
Yeah,
right?
but you five are ones that have know, been doing okay, so it should be good.
If you're doing things where you're using your psychic powers, but it's we're not supposed to, but I don't do this when anyone else is looking, when any of the adults are around, and we'll keep this a secret between us, you're still kind of keeping the society under control, right?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So,
yeah, because the adults obviously have secrets as well, and in some ways the adults are the picture of what the kids will be like, most likely.
Yep. Because, right, that's why you in these kinds of stories you need to have that sort of upset the established order, because otherwise, sorry, you might have plenty of spunk and individuality and all that stuff, but you will probably end up just like the adults in society, your parents, etc. All that stuff, unless there's some kind of big disruption. And we still have that bit from the previous episode of if Maria had just never been born or whatever, so many people wouldn't have died, and it's like, okay, I guess now that we've seen this episode, that's more of a long-term thing, because
or this arc specifically,
sure,
given that, again, we don't really have a full pattern for the show yet. The first 2 episodes were very much world building and kind of introducing us to the characters, very episodic format. This one very much is not in the episodic format. There's very
we're
clearly
in main plot storyline now.
Yeah, a linear story that is going to continue into the next episode directly from, okay, this thing is about ready to basically just say, oh, human, yes. Here's the info. What would you like to access?
Right.
And I'm thinking, when did KOTOR 1's Rakatan, ancient terminal just decide, because we answered a dumb riddle correctly, that we can
they
just
find a star map and it's just like,
oh my god,
what's happening? It's Mass Effect
the
relay,
ancient ones.
It
is a Mass Effect
Embrace eternity.
Theory, though, with regards to the hypnosis, this could be something, though, where they are let about and kind of move around in this way, though, as a way to basically safeguard for when society just inevitably does collapse and they're more used to it. And the idea of big storage devices that are still around, even though they have a really good society for the on the surface.
Oh no, yeah, that totally makes sense. You have the information separate from society,
you
so
don't
that way
be a
it doesn't
point of
get
failure.
destroyed.
Right.
You know? And it's wandering around so that no one will ever find them all, right? And
No, but people will find them every once in a while, and then that'll give humanity the keys to rebuild itself again.
Because the as scary and for all the bad things that we have already seen and been hinted at this society doing, it is a society that has worked in a fashion, right?
Even as long as the parents have been alive.
Exactly. So
or not necessarily, actually. As long enough as the parents, who are the oldest is.
The point is that the world is not exploding right now.
Right.
And that's probably as a result of this society that exists, right?
Yeah,
but
this small area.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But then these kids over the course of the story will, then see all the faults of it probably, and then realize oh, hey, I think we can do better. And then that's where then, there's the rebelling and all that stuff and new generations and yada yada. It's great, right? Yeah. But so far, this society has figured out something that works. So it would make sense if the things that they're teaching them are to then, all right, yeah.
Give ourselves the next best chance that we have in the future.
Yeah. And I could totally see it being something where it's we're going to teach you how to conform to this society. Mm-hmm. We are also going to teach you how, if this goes tits up, you will hopefully be able to rebuild. Right. You'll be able to survive. You'll be able to make it out there, and good luck, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then in protection to make sure that you don't have to do that, we will disappear anybody that is rocking the boat,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
that tracks with where we're at. So, all right, next episode, let's access the library.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would love to have it be a very clear, ping, ping, ping back to the library's central hub where they're node 473642111 has been activated.
Uh-oh.
And they're who's out there? It's nobody. Wait a minute.
Hold on.
The kids are on the trip right now, aren't they?
Damn
they
it.
are. And well, that's fine. They shouldn't be. Wait, no, it was active. Who would be able to go past the hypnosis?
Damn it, they had basic glasses. Shit.
So you know what that's probably is?
What?
You know what it's going to be?
What?
They were pinged immediately.
Right.
The adults are on their way. And they're assuming they're just going to pick up 5 hypnotized kids. And they're this is just a normal, typical Tuesday where we'll just pick up the kids. They've been hypnotized. Put them in the thing and take them back and be oh, you had a nice sleep. Yep. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a run-in. You unfortunately bumped into Minoshiro, and we saved you. But that was very scary. Don't do that again.
They could even theoretically tell them what it is of this is
you're
something.
Open to suggestion now because you're hypnotized too.
Sure, but these are the things that we have used in order to make sure that we can recover things if stuff goes bad. don't tell anyone about this because this needs to be something that no one knows about, so that way, you know, like, I don't know, like
I don't know, if they have hypnosis, they might just be like, and
Sure.
no, forget, you know,
Yeah.
like, sorry,
Right.
just bing, 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 bing.
I am
bing,
very
you know?
curious what happens when one of the kids gets disappeared. And if that were to happen to any of our main cast and we kept our perspective following them after they got disappeared, like if they didn't get killed or something.
I don't think
that
it'll
would be
happen
very
unless
interesting.
it's Saki. I honestly don't think it'll happen unless it's Saki. So
And she was the one who messed with the creature.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
but no,
think it's- I don't think we're there.
I think
like-
this will be their little secret for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyhow, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We do streams every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.